When I was 15 or 16, it was 2003 and my dad was in Iraq. There were more important things going on. Being the person that I am, I adapted. And this is something that we see often in the patient group. We are high achievers. We, at least for now, I have a theory on that we can get to later, but most people that we see are people that have tried. We're not going to be the ones that go home and don't do physical therapy. We really are trying. Because our symptoms don't show up in a way that's recognized, we don't have the tools to measure, right? Like, for instance, the genetic component, right? That would be the gold standard, which, spoiler alert at the end. So even though I, complained about these knee pains, I was still able to function at that high level, right? I remember the summer that my knee started hurting. I was walking around with my legs straight, and it was the summer, and the orthopedist that had diagnosed me, he had said, you need to take it easy for this summer. I was like, well, can I still do karate tournaments? It's like, yeah, you can do it like once, that's fine, What we didn't tell him was that I was getting stuffed in the back of a 15-passenger van, driven up to New York from North Carolina to go compete for a week straight, where we were, sleeping in sleeping bags on the dojo floor, right? Probably not what he had in mind. Later on, when I broke my ankle, I was 19. Life worked out in a way where I didn't have a whole lot of family support. Again, bootstrap mentality, right? 18 years old, what are you doing? Get out there, start hustling. And I graduated early at 17 from high school because I took public speaking classes at Northwestern University. So around that time is also where I started having some mental health issues. Things that I now actually recognize as symptoms of POTS were diagnosed as panic attacks, and there were all the right sort of environmental things happening, right? My family was going through, my mother and father were going through a divorce, just found out my dad was cheating. I was the one who found out. I was the oldest one. I also just found out at that age that he was my adopted father. I'll mention this. I have a history of sexual abuse from early childhood, and that's kind of where the second maybe chance for catching it could have come in. Along with all these mental health issues, I was also having a lot of bladder problems. And I was getting worked up for the bladder stuff. And the divorce happened, and Brian's 18. And mom kicks Brian out of the house, and I'm not getting any phone calls to go to the appointment, right? Another opportunity missed, right? Fast forward a few years, now I'm 19. I'm living in Louisiana, and the pain has gotten a lot worse. I turned to using, self-medicating, weed, and, recreational drugs. When I was in North Carolina, that was cocaine, but as I moved down south to Louisiana, that was opioid epidemic, right? We're talking right after Katrina. I moved there in 2007, summer of 2007, 2 years after Katrina. And little did I know that I'm, this rapid opiate metabolizer. I have all these pain issues, and it's very confusing to crowdsource pharmaceutical effectiveness as a 19-year-old with, you don't even know what's going on, right? I didn't know the question that I was trying to answer. I was just trying different answers, right? Well, that wasn't going to work out very well because I knew that eventually my dad would come back from Afghanistan and he wasn't going to let a 19-year-old drug addict live in his house. So I decided to go to what I swear by is the best rehab program in America, boot camp. So I joined boot camp in 2009. There was one event that happened before that that's notable. I enlisted in 2008, and in a going away party, I was doing a backflip off of a car while I was liquored up, and it was one of those Toyota Echoes. You guys remember they had kind of like the fatter sides, right? They're kind of bubbled out. Well, I do it off of like a Civic that looked like normal, but with that little bubble to it, my forehead hit the passenger window. I shattered this ankle.